And Justin, I've invited you if you can hear me. So
Yep.
there he
Hey,
is. How are you?
I'm good. How are you all doing today?
Good. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for doing the meet follower of one idea and the follower
Of
of one
course.
marketplace mission trip. And so tell people about yourself, Justin. Tell us who you are.
Yeah. My journey for Christianity was quite different from anybody else's. Um, I actually followed a friend to church when I was about 5, and one of the leaders there, first thing they did when I walked in the door was, "Hey, have you accepted Christ into your heart?" And I said, "No, I don't know what that is. I'm only 5." Um, yeah, yeah. So it's a little bit about the start of my journey. And I got lucky. They were that church specifically was a part of a program um, back in the '90s. I'm sure they're still around. They just might not look the same that they do. It was called Awana,
Yeah.
and yeah, and that's where I learned how to memorize scripture and kind of have fun with it, and you know, be a little bit different than a lot of my other friends. And so, you know, I started the journey of memorizing scripture, having fun with it. One of my first goals was to get one of the white T-shirts that everybody had, to say I graduated from like the lower class up into the
Mm-hmm.
middle class. And then obviously they had all sorts of other achievements to get. You get bars and bands. Um, and I did start a little later than everybody else, unfortunately, because they'd all started, 3, 4. So I was a year or
Mm-hmm.
two behind. Everybody already had their shirts. They were already earning a lot of their stripes.
Uh-huh.
They had a lot more candy than I did, right? So, just it was fun. It was an enjoyable journey, and I got to be a part of that for a few years. And yeah, but today I have a giant family. We go to church. Matter of fact, my daughter just told me that she wanted to be baptized
Oh,
this
cool.
weekend. Right. I have a wife. We've been married for 10 plus years, um, and 4 children. So I've got a lot on my plate. I have fun online streaming and gaming. Um, Anybody can come in at any time and ask me questions. And I'll definitely answer any faith-based questions you want. And we try and keep it family friendly. Um, and we have a lot of trolls that have fun too. They like to troll people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's great. It's a fun time.
So so where were you and where did you grow up as at age 5?
Yeah. So I was born in Everett, Washington, specifically Snohomish County, um, which they do get a decent amount of snow every once in a while. And it's kind of the Everett, Seattle area. So we were only about 15, 20 minutes with no traffic, which nowadays there's always traffic in that area.
Mm-hmm.
You try and go 5 miles and you've got, 30, 40-minute travel time.
Yeah.
Um, right next to the bay. So you got nice, beautiful bay. Um, we always had access to fish, which is something I kind of miss in this area, like fresh
Mhm.
fish. You don't know how much you're missing it until you don't have it anymore.
Uh-huh.
Um, right. So just
Yes.
a beautiful place to grow up in. If you ever get a chance to go out and visit, right? Seattle, right? Maybe try the Space Needle. You've got the San Juan Islands. They're just a ferry ride out there. If you've got kids, let me tell you, a ferry ride is the greatest thing you could do for kids, and it's not very expensive, right? They just love being on the water in a giant boat sailing over to an island. That's like their favorite
Mm-hmm.
thing.
So very cool.
Yeah.
So
hmm
so how did you so you and I connected through working out, even
Yeah.
though I don't look like I've ever been there. Um
Oh, give yourself more credit than that.
how I've been I've been yeah, I appreciate you guys holding me accountable. So that's helpful. But
Mhm.
anyway, tell me a little bit about how you ended up becoming getting involved in online gaming, and it's something I want to understand a little bit better. You and I were talking about this because of the online nature
Yeah.
of Follower of
Mhm.
One. So I wanted to learn more about what you're passionate about relative to the online gaming space.
Yeah. Okay. So a little bit about my gaming and gaming background. I would say that gaming early on in my life was kind of a safe place for me, right?
Hmm.
Um, when your family life isn't the greatest, some of the easiest escapes in your life could be something like gaming or even going to church with your friends, right? So, if I didn't have anything to do outside of the house, I was looking for things that I could use to just remove myself from the environment
Hmm.
around me, right? Because I had a very negative and toxic background. We don't have to get into that today.
Okay.
Um, that might be a that might be a topic for you know definitely personal and private, but it's that's kind of how it started, right? I also found out that I was really bad at games at first. Um, Again, I got a late start on all of that stuff. I didn't get into to any kind of gaming until I was like 9 or 10, when I could do chores around the house, earn my own money, and buy my own gaming system. And that's what I did with my money. Whenever I had it, is that I would buy
Ah.
something gaming wise. I quickly caught up to everybody else, and I started in all sorts of stuff, from Mega Man, Pac-Man, kind of running through Super Mario, the 64 games, Zelda, just all of that stuff, and just really made a huge impact in the way that I experience games.
Hmm.
And in high school, I wanted to be a part of Major League Gaming. However, I didn't really have the information or access to internet at home. So I didn't really have a way of reaching out into the world for
Hmm.
opportunities like that. I did know somebody in Major League Gaming when Halo came out. This is Halo 3. So we're, probably about 7 or 8 years into Halo at this time. We had a LAN party at my second high school that I went to. It was called Snow Isle Tech. There we go. It was right on the tip of my tongue there for a second. And that's where I learned computer servers and networking. Here, we had a server set up where a lot of gamers came in and played. One of the guys was always like, "Oh yeah, I'm in MLB. I'm the greatest. I don't think there's anybody here that can beat me." Um, and I don't know what it was about me, but I made him look like Swiss cheese, like easy. And I
Hmm.
made it look so easy that the fact of beating him became rage bait for him, and it really made him angry. And at first he goes, "You're just looking at my screen, you know where I'm at," because we were both on the same projector at the time.
Hmm.
And the teacher pulled out another projector and was like, "Yeah, we can set up gaming on this." So I was like, "Fine, we'll LAN it, and I will face the projector in the other direction, and we'll play again." Game was a little bit closer the second time around, because he'd gotten used to my strategy a little bit, but I still
Hmm.
kind of slammed him in the ground, um, and he was not happy about that either. So he was like, "Let's do another one." And at this point, he's basically screaming, and I'm like, "Hey, the only reason I'm going to play you again is if you stop screaming, because I'm pretty sure the teacher's over it, everybody else in the room
Hmm.
is over it, and you're just making yourself look like, yeah, I don't have to say it, but like,
Yeah.
right?" So we did it again, and I beat him by 1 point, but he was still upset. I was like, "Bro, you did so good." Um, right? So at that point, I was like, maybe I could maybe I could actually do something with this. Never did, right? Went on to college. I played Call of Duty. I got into that. I found out I was really good at Call of Duty too. And it wasn't until recently, just a few years ago, that I had some people that wanted to play professionally, and then I jumped in on it. And we won, and we were winning. We were having a great time doing it. Um, yeah. So that's a bit about my gaming and gaming history.
So Your average. Tell me a little bit more about your average day. I'm not a professional gamer. I spent enough money to be one when it was a quarter a play, but um, then I had to go to work.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so average day. That so for gaming, when I was doing that on a regular basis, my average day would look like wake up, eat breakfast, get the kids breakfast, take them off to their part-time school. I'd come home. We didn't have the baby at that time, so we were three. All three were in school, right?
Mhm,
So I would come home. I'd immediately get on and I would start warming up. I'd get probably about 45 minutes, an hour in, and then I'd be like, okay, I'm ready. And then I would start playing some, you know, regular matches with people online.
mhm,
Um, and I would just go through my routine of practicing and understanding my routes, and understanding, which weapon am I going to use today. Just really honing in on whatever it is that I wanted to do that day. Um,
mhm,
and then if I saw that there were some of my friends were on, we'd go into private lobbies, right? Um, because sometimes online gameplay doesn't have, the people in their skill level. mm, they might not be ready to play against you. So private matches where people of either your skill or better are going to be, that's where you want to
mhm,
be.
uh-huh,
Right. So I'd go in there and we'd play, twos, fours, eights. And what that means is like if it's twos, then it's 1v1. If it's fours, it's 2v2. If it's eights,
mhm,
it's 4v4. Right. So as you can imagine, I just, I'm continuing to just hone and grow my skills. Um, Specifically for Call of Duty, if you're still kind of wondering what game it was that we're playing, Halo hasn't been a thing for a while. So yeah, we're just kind of honing our skill, having fun, getting used to the lobbies, understanding my position, where I'm supposed to be,
mhm,
where I'm failing, trying to get better at those things, and just constantly in that grind. And it's just like any other professional sport. You're not in it to have fun, though you can at times have fun. You can have times where you're chill, but when you're honing and you're skill grinding, there is no fun. There is you either get better or you don't.
yeah,
Those are kind of the two options, right? So you're you take a little bit of that fun away from the game, in
uh-huh,
order to play professionally, just like anything, right? You go up to people in NFL sports, they might not, it might not
that's
be
work.
fun, but they are getting paid lots of money. And so they're going to tell you,
Mhm,
yeah, of course, I'm getting paid millions of dollars. It's fun. But if
mhm,
you break it down into the core, right, they're grinding 10, 12, 14 hours every single day, right?
yeah,
If they aren't practicing, if they aren't in it to win it, then they're not going to get paid their money, right? So
mhm,
they got to protect their asset.
mhm. So Chris actually asked a question here in the chat. So how do you bring your faith into all of this?
How do you bring your faith into all this? That's a great question. It can be quite hard. The gaming industry, the gaming realm, kind of that entire environment, can be very toxic, right? And so some of the best ways to do it is maybe you meet a new friend, right? You kind of get to know them a
Mhm,
little bit in the gaming area, and you have to be able to make decisions and determinations of whether or not that person's going to be good for you, toxic, somebody you reach out to. Um, and then you have to have a group of people outside of that that have a firm foundation that you can go back
mhm,
to, right? I'm kind of in that phase right now where I'm going back to that foundation of friends that are well grounded, just to kind of like get all the junk and the clutter and the toxicity out of the brain so I can reset, um, and hop back into it. Um, and it's a daily struggle, um, on that front, of mixing faith in the gaming area
mhm,
because most people, they don't game to go to Jesus. That's not the
mhm,
reason. That's not their motivation, to game. Their motivation to game is my life, you know, I wouldn't say everybody, but I would say a majority of people. My life sucks. I don't enjoy my life. Gaming is outside of all of that, and I have more control over that environment than I do in my real life, right? Because it's
Mhm.
fake, it's not real, right? I have, superpowers, or I can run really fast, or I'm a trained soldier, but I didn't have to go and train to be a soldier. And now I can
Yeah.
go online and I can go, take out other people that think they're a trained soldier and I'm better than them, right?
Yeah.
So
Very
a lot
cool.
of gaming is instant gratification, right? And so
Mhm.
combating instant gratification, um, it's not an easy task to get
Yeah.
to know somebody that all they want to do is do that, right? So usually, and I would say that I found that this works the best when you first get on, right? And you're hanging out with people, you're hanging out with somebody, you just play,
Mhm.
right? And you let the game itself wear them down, right? You let all of their daily life, everything, you let them shed that off in the game and you're having fun,
Mhm.
right? And it's not until you run into an issue, right? Oh, they start screaming, they're yelling, they're cussing, all this stuff. That you're like, oh, hey, we don't need to be like that, bro. We need, we can be positive, right?
Mhm.
Just, just throw small things like that at them all the time.
Mhm.
Eventually, they're gonna get into it and be like, bro, like you keep telling me to be positive, even though I feel like sometimes I can't be, or even when you seem upset, right? You still seem
Mhm.
like you've got this positive upset about you, right?
Mhm.
And it's usually then that you have the opportunity to share with them, right?
Yeah.
And it's usually when they're tired and they're mentally open to new things, right? Because they've taken their day, their regular person, their mask, they've kind of put that off to the side. You get to see who they truly are. And
Mhm.
it's not until you get to that squishy inside there that you can actually kind of like say something or do something, or direct them, right? Because it's not always
Yeah.
about like, oh yeah, hey, like you're gonna accept Jesus in this conversation. Sometimes it's more like, hey, I'm leading you to Jesus, and you don't quite see that or know that or understand that yet. And it's
Yeah.
those small conversations, and I might not be the one that gets them there. Somebody else might be, or somebody that knows them
Sure.
personally might be the one that gets them there. But if I can be the catalyst that kind of pushes that forward and brings that, you know, allows them to have more of that in their life, it might allow them to make positive changes in that direction.
Yeah. Do you pray for the people that you game with?
Sometimes, yeah, I have somebody currently that I am praying for. I'm not going to say any names,
Yeah, I
or
understand.
gamer names. But
I wouldn't. Don't share any
yeah,
details.
yeah, yeah. I've known him for quite a while. He's a really he's different. He wouldn't be the person that you'd go out into society and think, hey, maybe I should share Jesus with him. He'd be like, whoa, I think I need to stay away from this dude, right?
Yeah.
And it's usually those people that are online gaming. They're lonely.
Yeah.
They seem in public they seem creepy, right? They don't seem like the type of person that you'd want to hang out with, um, right? Which is where gaming is fantastic because they've got something to hold their attention that allows you to
Mhm.
kind of like sneak in there and be like, hey, have you ever thought about this before?
Yeah. So now you went through the marketplace mission trip. Did you
Yeah.
get any ideas from the marketplace mission trip to kind of help you with some of what you and I were talking about trying to do something in the gaming online world?
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say the marketplace mission trip really allowed for a better focus, instead of like being kind of generalized, it allows you to kind of focus in a little more and kind of hone in like, well, maybe instead of waiting for them to come to you every time, maybe you could reach out to them with messages, be positive and uplifting, right? um Instead of just waiting for those specific perfect moments where
Mhm.
you're trying to make change, maybe you can be like, hey bro, thinking about you today, I hope your day's going well, right? It could be something small like
Yeah.
that. um right? You don't want to be weird about it, right? So it depends on the person you're reaching out to, but just, having positive interactions with people on a daily basis can mean more to them than just waiting for them to get on and game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because now you're reaching outside of just the gaming world. Now you're reaching inside to, um, if they allow it, into their personal life, right? And that's where you can start making bigger changes. They feel more appreciated, right? Lonely
Yeah.
people don't want to feel alone all day. So if you're
Yeah.
reaching out to them on a regular basis, that makes them feel like, oh, hey, maybe this person could actually be like a lifelong friend,
Mm-hmm.
person worth investing some of my time into because he's investing into me.
Yeah. Do you sense like Jesus has got a next thing for you? What are you doing that you're excited about coming up?
Yeah. So um I feel like there's a lot that Jesus has for me. I'm also trying to at least serve at my church a little bit, especially if I'm already there, for the tech team.
Mm-hmm.
Um right? And so tech is something that I'm good with. I feel comfortable with. It's easy. There isn't anything terribly difficult. I can always put it on autopilot if I need to. And so learning all of that doesn't take up a lot of extra. Um, maybe some of the next steps is to, instead of just being on the defensive for a community, maybe I can be more on the, going out there, going out of my way, trying to figure out ways to make that happen. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe I can build a community, um, that grows based upon what they're doing in the community versus just waiting for people to come to us
Mm-hmm.
necessarily. Like we're going out and reaching people. And doing that online is pretty easy. I don't have to leave my house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it's not a lot of heavy work or heavy lifting, right? Um, if you kind of think about it, back in the day, they had to physically leave the position they were in and go to somebody's house or go to a marketplace,
Mm-hmm.
or right, they had to go and serve somebody in some way or capacity that allowed them to reach people. Nowadays, like there shouldn't be any reason why you can't go and do that online, right? You don't even have to leave the comfort of your own home, right? You could be eating a pizza and and drinking a soda while you're reaching out to
Yeah.
people. That's how easy it is. And I feel like we as Christians, we take that for granted. Because we're like, well, we've got time. I've got time. I don't have to worry about it. I've got time. We take for granted some of those things that would allow us to easily just create a community of followers, of people, disciples, any of that stuff.
So yeah, I don't know that we have a lot of prospects for your group in our follower of one, but I would
Mhm,
love to give you, I'd love to have a space for that in follower of one if you wanted it, or if it makes more sense
mhm.
to do it in, the Call of Duty platform or whatever.
Yeah,
I think it'd be great to start experimenting with what it would be like to, create a gaming environment where there's a bunch of Christians in it. Not that it's a Christian gaming environment at all, but it's
yeah,
just looking for opportunities to build relationships with people that helps them discover Jesus,
yeah,
or move closer to him. We define, as you heard in the mission trip, right? Our definition of ministry is helping people move one notch closer to him. So, if you do anything like that, I'd definitely be happy to help. And I'm sure there'd be other people in the community that would be excited about helping.
yeah. Yeah, if I go back into the Call of Duty, that's possible. I play other games too, so just trying to find a flow and an
Hmm.
ability to do that. I also like F3, um, because of the way they have it set up, right? They focus first on a workout, right? Then they focus on, hey, let's break trust down, and then, hey, let's have faith, right?
Yeah.
Fitness, fellowship, faith. Like they break it down, from things that people like first down to things that might be a little more difficult to usually reach out to somebody, right? So it
Hmm.
allows them to open up that door quite smoothly, quite nicely. And maybe that's something that's available for gaming too, right? You start off with
Yeah.
games, people like and enjoy that. Then you have a basically like a circle of trust afterwards where you're like,
Hmm.
hey, like And you can make it, a gaming analogy if you want. Like, when you're losing all the time,
Hmm.
you're not winning at the
Yeah.
game. Like, how do you feel? Sometimes maybe we just need to change our mindset and go, there's something I could learn or experience from this that would allow me to grow, right? And then you can bring it down into a faith-based basin, down towards the bottom of
Hmm.
that really is like the foundation, the pillar. And you can go, well, right, like I have to allow room to grow. I have to be a good steward of my time. Maybe there's something that I was
Hmm.
missing in what I've been doing that allowed me to lose at that, right? I missed the
Hmm.
mark because, well, maybe I wasn't practicing something correctly, or maybe I wasn't doing something that would allow me to grow, right? And that could include our own lives. Sometimes when we're frustrated with our own lives and we aren't growing,
Yeah.
um, right? Maybe we missed the mark on something somewhere. We didn't quite get it delivered correctly, right? So we can be better stewards of our own time. So there's a lot of
Yeah. Well,
possibilities there.
and that gave me an idea too. Maybe even where you're like training people who, offer training or whatever for people who aren't as experienced as you,
Yeah.
right? That you're
Yeah.
giving away the knowledge of how to get better instead of just beating them and making them figure it out for themselves.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Right. So taking time to go off and give training.
Yeah.
Um right? And so, having a community like that, being able to schedule something like that out, is huge, especially using. There's so many resources out there, right? So, like, it could be posted in follower of one, like, "Hey, we're gonna have gaming. We're gonna have a training
Hmm.
session. We're gonna have these things available starting at this time. If you want to join, you feel free to come in and
Yeah.
join." Right? Like Life Church, you could also use their resources for an online gaming community platform, right? You have so many different resources that you could pool in a community,
Hmm.
and really grow something. And it's not until you start making a difference in somebody else's life that they want to then make a difference in somebody beyond
Exactly. And
themselves, right?
exactly. And for people listening to this who are not familiar with it, F3 is a fitness workout group, mostly for men, outdoors. It's held in with rotating leadership fashion, and happens outdoors, rain or shine. I don't remember all the stuff. Justin is very involved in. He leads one of the what they call AOs. Everything
Yep.
has a nickname in F3. So
Everything. It's always nicknamed. It's perfect for the gaming world. Everybody wants a
yes.
nickname in the gaming world. So, like, right?
Well, yeah. So anything else? So what I'd love to do, one other question I have for you. You have a couple of channels, right? You have a YouTube channel, and
Yeah.
would how can people get connected with you if they were interested? I'm very interested in, coming up with a way to help gamers who are
Yeah.
Christians live out their faith. But if anybody wanted to reach out to you, how could they do that?
Yeah. So, I could pull up some URLs here really quick. Um, and we could put them in the chat. Um,
Okay.
feel free. You're more than welcome to jump in. Um, just through all the various different platforms that I have available. Let's see, I've got YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Right. Um,
I can find you on
and
YouTube. I'm sitting here looking at you on YouTube.
yep, yep. Yeah, and we were on last night. We had a blast. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, no, if we want to build a community around that, if we want that to be available, right? We can get you connected with Discord as well. Um, and that's kind of where it's easy for us to basically create rooms where we can all come in together. We can have video chats on, we can have just voice chats. Um, and that's for gaming, that's primarily the easiest way to create a community, um,
Hmm. Is in
outside
Discord.
of, yeah, is Discord, is using Discord, right? And that's just what the gaming community prefers, right? That's the easiest thing, right? They have it available on their consoles, so like your Xbox can now connect to Discord, right? your PlayStations connect to Discord. All of these places can connect to Discord, so it's already a part of what they have available. They don't have to download anything outside of what is already available to them. So
Yeah.
it's I would say that's the easiest way to basically allow for us to connect to gamers. Here, I'm gonna post. There's the YouTube. If it'll share it, there it is. Okay, and then we've got Twitch. Go straight to my channel. Oh, did that send? There we go. Sent it. Okay, there's the
Yeah.
YouTube. I'll send them separately. That way they don't all end up in the
Okay.
exact same chat. There
And
is
Chris will
the
put them
Twitch.
in the text of the post
Okay.
and the show
Yes.
notes.
Yep. Let's see. And then
Yeah,
let's
and
see. This one's
Victor actually lives up your way, Justin.
Victor.
Victor Jones in our live stream here. He's one of our members. He's up in Talala, I think, or somewhere up that way, or Veneta. Well, I don't remember now. I'm guessing. So
No,
Victor lives up in your area. He gets down here to Tulsa every now and again. I see Heather Schaefer has also joined us. So I think it's interesting because I just think there's got to be a way. Yeah, he's in Awana. Thanks, Victor. And there's got to be ways to help. You know, to me, everything we do when we think about trying to do it to where we're paying attention to the people around us because we're Jesus followers, it just makes whatever we're doing that much more eternal.
Yeah.
And
So
so if that's playing a
there
video game or anything else.
there are ways. If you leave your computer on, if you're like me, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I leave it on just for days at a time. You can always go into these channels, right? Specifically like Twitch or Kick, you can leave them on inside of the channel, and when I go live, you'll immediately be a viewer. And there's kind of a specific zone. If you have 10 to 20 viewers watching you on a
Mm-hmm.
regular basis, that usually puts you on front pages. That can put you into just a different area that allows you to have more eyeballs on you. And that's one way that people help. I know in my community I have somebody like that. He's phenomenal. His name is Hazmat. He is always in my channels, like watching
Mm-hmm.
something, right? You can also have it set up to where, I mean, you don't even have to be there to watch all the videos, but if you're in there, if you just put on replay in the background, you can even have it
Mm-hmm.
muted on YouTube. But if you set up like a list of the videos that I have, the live streams, all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
if you're playing those in the background, that changes the algorithm. The algorithm goes, oh, there are people that like it. If you go in and like a bunch of the videos, right? If you leave comments, if you just, 5 minutes at a
Mm-hmm.
time, you just do some of these things, the algorithm kind of picks you up and starts sharing you to more people because it believes that the content is relevant and it's what people want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how a lot of these streamers grow, is that they have communities that go in and just do this for them, right? Right. I've got let's see here, Classy Beef, right? Just randomly, it's just a streamer that I have on my recommended page. He's got 2,000 people watching him, right? I'm willing to bet out of those 2,000 people, he probably has 1 to 200 people that are dedicated to watching his content, liking his content,
Uh-huh.
commenting, which is allowing the algorithm to push it out there and get it in front of more people, which is why he has 2,000 people watching him. I mean, Classy Beef doesn't really sound like something that you'd want to go and watch, but if he's got enough people that are consistently pushing him into the algorithm, that's going to go
Yeah.
a lot longer and a lot farther for him.
Yeah. Or even if we know somebody who's memorized a bunch of Bible verses from Awana and is playing video games, right? Then we could go watch him.
Yeah. Yep. Of course.
Well, but
No.
I think that's cool. I mean, you and I were talking about this. Jesus has to have a strategy for this. He knows what
Yeah.
he's doing. We just don't. And so I'm trying
Yep.
to figure out, what can we do? That's kind of interesting idea. I may pay some attention and see what happens. So
Yeah.
you never know.
Right. If your computer's on and you're not using the resources for anything, then having it go towards somebody that's using those resources to further their, the mission,
Hmm.
the idea, the Jesus mindset, right? Um, that's what it's about. It gives us the ability to connect with more people, and you're already using that resource, so why not allow somebody else to jump on and use that
Yeah.
to further their platform,
Well, and
right?
I have 3 grandkids who are all gamers too. So,
3
um,
grandchildren, yeah.
well, very cool. It's
Thank
a
you, thank
great
you.
idea just to think about how Jesus is doing that.
Mhm.
So thanks for putting these in here.
Yep,
So will you put YouTube, Twitch, and Kick in here?
yep. Yes, I
So
did.
thanks.
Mhm. Of course.
And so
Thank you for
I'm
having me
excited
on.
about this. Huh?
Thank you for having me on the live stream here.
Oh, my pleasure. I mean, like we talked about, I'm excited about finding ways where believers can kind of connect with their faith in whatever situation they're in. And so, since you're in a totally different situation than I have a lot of experience with, I was excited to find this out. So,
Mhm.
very cool.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of things we can do. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, any other ideas? I want to encourage anyone listening to this, connect with
Mhm.
Justin. Um, and you can connect with him here in the community, or you
Yep,
can
yep.
reach out to him at either any of these 3 platforms. I subscribe to your YouTube channel today. That's the one
Thank
piece of
you.
this I know how
Yay.
to do. So, but and I just, we're Christ followers in the world. So let's see what God does with us. I'm
Yeah.
grateful for you being on here today. Thanks.
Thank you, thank you. Oh, yeah, Victor Jones over there. Yes, Nowata. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a little ways farther north. But yeah, still
Yeah.
same
Well,
area.
yeah. Well, you're in Ulaga, right?
Yeah, Ulagan, Nowata. I'd say he's about 25 minutes north, maybe a
Hmm.
little farther.
Yeah.
So, all
Well,
right.
thank you for joining us today, and I'm grateful for this.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me here. It was so much fun.
Yeah, Victor, the other end of the lake.
Yep. I just messaged you, Victor. If you want to reach out to me, you want to get connected to the community, we can chat some more here in follower one. So,
Well,
of
well, thanks very much for doing this, and for everyone
course.
listening. Remember, we have a mission trip, but it's coming up March the 15th. If you want to
Yep.
do with the next one of our mission trips, we also have every other Wednesday night, we're doing the Faith at Work Life group. If you have any interest in any of those things, let me know, or anyone else in the community. You can check it out. And be on the lookout. Maybe we'll end up having a gamers channel or something like that in follower one here before long. So I'm
Yeah,
excited. Thank you.
that would be fantastic. Thank you.
All right. And thanks everyone for joining. Remember,
Mhm.
what we do because we follow Jesus matters forever. So he's in charge. And
Yeah,
Justin, thanks again for doing this.
thank you. I couldn't have said it better.
See you, everyone.
Bless you all.